Hi Taurus, welcome to your full moon reading. Ooh, it's spooky. I mean, I even put on earrings. If you know me, you know I don't do that. Yeah, that's special. But why? Why is it so special? Well, you know that saying, 10 steps forward, 10 steps back? It's usually a negative saying, right? Like, you made all this progress and then you move backwards. But what if moving backwards was exactly what you needed to do from March until now, since the first Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, so you could finally figure out what toxic traits you need to leave behind, especially when it comes to relationships, and I'm going to explain to you why. Now, as of November 21st, you will have Venus moving into your house of relationships, into Scorpio. So what will happen is that it will be very easy for you to get into a new relationship, something that won't be the easiest to handle. It'll probably be someone really far away, for example. Oh, it's you. I love when that happens. So first card out, you, so hyped. Bottom of the deck, King of Pentacles, we love to see it. Okay, now, here's the thing. Because you have this potential to attract just about anybody, you will have a lot of people coming to you, but the one you will be interested in is someone really far away. Either culturally far away, physically far away. Somehow the distance between you will force you to be your not just best self, but most evolved self. From late March until now, you've really been thinking a lot about your jealousy, your possessiveness, your tendency to be suspicious, and it's not the easiest thing for you in the world to trust people, even if you're intimate with them. That doesn't somehow absolve them of your suspicion. So just think about it. Look at how amazing the world is and how it's set up and how the system is set up. So from the Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, then moving back into Libra, then moving back into Scorpio, you get this 10 steps forward and then 10 steps back and then 10 more steps back and then forward, right? And then Venus enters Scorpio. So you've had ample time to drudge up any negative habits that you have, really look at them over and over again and say, okay, I can see how I may have sabotaged that relationship, or that one, or that one, or that one. Okay, now that doesn't make me any less me if I change those things, because no matter what I do, I'm still me. It's just gonna make me how many. I have no idea what happened. Anyway, I said you will be more you and everything went haywire. You will be more you. And the full moon tomorrow in your sign will reaffirm that. Next up here we have Seven of Wands, Queen of Cups, and the Magician. The great thing about drudging up all your bad habits, all your destructive tendencies, is that now you see them, you deal with them, you have power over them, you change, you evolve, you are open to receiving, and work really starts to take on a new life, because you've also been thinking about how your work partnerships need to be tweaked. And you've been thinking it for a while. It's how you do one thing or what happens in one area of your life is generally what happens in every area of your life. So if you've been thinking a lot about the structural the scaffolding, the emotional scaffolding that holds you up in a relationship, then you've also been thinking about the financial scaffolding that holds you up in the material world. And in both, you have seen that a lot of tweaking needs to happen and a lot needs to be revamped. Now, what I said about the system being so amazing, or in Urdu we say the nizam, the design being so amazing, it's this idea. So you get all this knowledge about yourself, you realize, because nobody else can tell you that you're being toxic, you realize where you're toxic, and you genuinely just from within want to change it, and all of a sudden you have this attraction to someone who will require you to use all these new evolved qualities to be able to sustain the relationship. So it's an open book exam, and then the practical, the clinical, if you will. And it looks like you pass with flying colors. This is what I love about Taurus. When you learn something, your mind is like a steel trap. When you learn something, that's it. You've learned it. Once that door is open, you will not close it. You can't close it. It's not logical. The most important part about November, though, isn't all this beautiful, wonderful stuff. It's not this new, wonderful relationship coming in. It's not all this light shining on you. It's not Mars going direct in your 12th house right behind you in your subconscious and giving you this huge boost. No. The most important part of November is that you finally understand that outdated idea of a person, that thing that you thought was a romance, that being or creature that you thought you were going to end up spending your life with, they were nothing like what you thought they were. And you were holding on to some bizarre notion of who they were for so long, and kind of dragging yourself through the mud over and over again so you could keep your picture of them clean and rosy, and put all the blame on yourself for it not working if it wasn't working, or any tension that was arising, or them falling through on what they said they would do for you. Every time you felt this, especially if it was a resourceful earth sign, every time you felt like you could depend on them and they fell through, you blamed yourself. Like, oh, but maybe it's because of this, and of course this isn't a dialogue being done, had out loud. This is within you, and you kept doing it to yourself, and you kept doing it. And I wouldn't be surprised if you've been quite sad because you've been beating yourself up so much about somebody who, they were never what you thought they were. They were never going to be the person they were pretending to be. They were never going to come through for you in those ways that they said they would, that you pinned perhaps your hopes on. The most amazing thing about November is that you finally stop beating yourself up. You remember who you are. You stop being angry with them, but you also stop idolizing them. You stop fantasizing about them. You just let them go. And it's not like a neutral, peaceful letting go. You let them go with this I can't even believe that what was I thinking? What were you thinking? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because all it was a way for you to trip and fall on your face and go into this deep retrograde, void where you could figure out what led you there. What within you pulled you into a space where somebody could disappoint you, could hurt you. What was it within you that wanted so badly to believe in someone that deep, deep inside your instincts were saying, no, this is not going to work? That's what Mercury retrograde in Scorpio and then back into Libra and then back into Scorpio is showing you, will show you, has shown you. And then as of November 12th, you're just free. And you're not just free, you're the belle of the ball. You're free and the center of all attention. You are free, free, free. And very single and very ready to mingle. Now, if you are not single, if you are in a committed relationship, you will find that your partner was definitely being put on a pedestal and that you are a bit disillusioned by what you now realize about them, but that's okay. You want them to be human. You want them to be a real person. You don't want them to be a fantasy that one day cracks and you realize that they're real, and then you're so severely disappointed because you feel betrayed, like they lied to you or something, even though you're the one that put them up there and you're the one that knew that those standards that you were holding them to were impossibly high and no human could actually be that. But they went along with it and you kept propping them up, and then one day it cracks and you feel like you were the one who was betrayed. Meanwhile, they're feeling like, I wouldn't have fallen so far if you hadn't put me up so high. Like, you didn't need to do that to me. I was fine being normal. Why didn't you just let me be normal? So either way, you have this kind of rude awakening and then straight into all eyes on you. Everybody loves you. Everybody wants to be around you. Everybody wants to date you. And of course, someone is going to get lucky. Someone is going to come in that you like the look of and you like the sound of. And that person is going to be so vastly different from you that it's going to take all these new skills, these emotional skills that you've acquired to make it work. Now, some of you might not be able to do that because you don't have quite enough of a handle on these new things that you've learned. But those of you who have really been putting in the work, those of you who have been so dedicated to your own improvement, those of you who have done nothing since March or April, but think constantly about evolving yourself, improving yourself, healing yourself, renewing yourself, that group of you, that subgroup is flying high, the world at your feet, everybody wants a piece, and you are all the way with it. Money, love, popularity, beauty, mystique. I mean, you have it all. You have it all in November. Mashallah, mashallah. I don't want to give you nazar. And you should be so happy for it. You should be so thrilled that you're finally out from under this misconception that you were kind of revolving your life around. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, I wasn't interested in someone who turned out to be an idiot. I wasn't interested in anyone. Well, then in some other aspect of your life, perhaps in business, most probably in business, you've realized that the way the money's being split up, the way the business is being run, the amount of responsibility being given to different people, it's just not right. Restructuring of everything, please. Restructuring in every way. That's what we're looking for. And in November, you have the guts and the wherewithal and the resources and the energy and the empty space, thank God, to do the restructuring. Before, up until November, you also wanted all these things. You have been learning this stuff, but there was no empty space for it to go. Now, the beginning of November, you have these aha moments where you're like, that person was hella trash. What was I actually even doing? Somebody explain it to me. And then this, swell of love, attention, victory, beauty, wealth, like everything just flies at you. And it's so good, to the point where it may even confuse you a little bit. And if it does start to confuse you, if it does get too overwhelming, just say something. Just be honest. Just be like, okay, this is getting a little much. bulls don't like to move that fast. Can we slow down a little bit? You can totally do that. You also become very, very clear. You have a huge opportunity to become very clear on what's going wrong in business and with money. And you're able to fix it, and a golden opportunity shows up that gives you everything you need to fix it. And we love that. We love it, we love it, we love it. So good. So good. It just keeps getting better and better. I don't even have to do, I can go through a whole deck with you right now. It just gets better and better and better and more stable and more loving and more committed and exciting. But remember, the opportunities that come in November are expecting the evolved new you. They're not at all interested in who you used to be. Not at all. Not at all. So if that's who you still are, you better get to work. But if you are that new you and you are confident in it, it's all wins, baby. Oh my God, I love you. Let's look at these cards, huh?
Hi Taurus, welcome to the second part of your reading. All right, now that you can see everything laid out, you can see how the reading begins with the new you. So I wouldn't worry too much about whether or not you'll be able to evolve into this person, because the cards are saying you're already there. And you have had 3 conjunctions to get it right. So don't second guess yourself. King of Pentacles, indicating that this change isn't just about your emotional life, your love life, even the way you relate to yourself. It's more than that. It's about how you relate to the world, your business partners, money in general. 7 of Wands, the winds coming in now that you know, past the toxic behavior, past the bad habits, past the insecurity. You know who you are. And as soon as you figure it out, Queen of Cups, you become extremely receptive. And Magician, extremely resourceful. You may even pick up a few new skills. Now, if picking up those few new skills is slow going, that's okay. Let it be. You have to pace yourself now. Not because you can't just get going and run and charge, but because that last little bit of disillusionment, letting go of that idea that someone is going to come into your life and somehow save you, fix you. It takes time to realize that that's not going to happen, and that you wouldn't want it even if it did. So, when you let go of that old dream, a new dream, Knight of Cups, will come in. And what is that new dream responding to? Someone who doesn't need them. Empress. Someone who isn't looking for anyone to save them. Empress. Someone who is quite capable of running their life and managing their feelings. You want so much now to be in that space, Knight of Swords, that you may even at times be a bit argumentative and sharp to protect this newfound safe space. It is so far from who you used to be that I think it's even shocking to you. I think more shocking than that is your willingness to take these risks. 2 of Wands. To speak on them and be vocal about them, Judgment. and to be open about them, not just to your loved ones, your friends, your acquaintances, no, with anybody, everybody, the world. You feel free of yourself. Now, around the lunar eclipse in Gemini, you will feel the full weight of your need to make a decision in the financial department. Doesn't matter how much you love the people you work with, how much you love your business partner, how much you love your job. If something is wrong, instead of getting lost in the stress of it, instead of letting the devaluation continue, take the lunar eclipse opportunity and just say something. Because the truth is, if you don't say something now, that thing is going to get run into the ground anyway. And then you won't have anything. Not even the satisfaction that you knew it would happen and that you said something. See where I'm going? So, be grateful for the disillusionment in love, for the very clean mirror that you have gotten to look into at least 3 times now, and the new person that you've become. Because it is that new person who is extremely observant and strong enough, doesn't need to be liked, to see when something is wrong and fix it. To see through someone who perhaps you yourself put too much faith in because you wanted them to solve your problems, take care of you, take the responsibility off your shoulders. And hopefully what you take away from this is that you never allow that again. Not because it's not nice, but because it's not smart. Good. All right. In the extended, we'll go card by card. I just finished doing the Libra extended and it was so unreal and so much fun. And I hope this one is just as cool. If you would like a personal recorded reading, there is a Cameo link below. If you would like a one-on-one video chat reading, there is a Chatalize link below. If you would like access to the extended through PayPal and sent to you as a link in your inbox, there is a link for that below under Instant Extended. Or you can log on to Vimeo and buy through there. That link is below as well. If you're interested in the Quietest Revolution rings, there's an Instagram account below where you can check the rings out and all the beautiful Rev Fam wearing them. And then there's also a link to buy the rings. Aside from that, every day on Instagram at the Quietest Revolution, we do a daily astrology chart transit, just to look at the transits and how they apply to each sign. So if you're into a daily horoscope, check us out and come join the fam. Okay, Taurus, I love you, and I'm really happy for you. You're gonna do great. I'll see you in the extended.